Hello, Homestead. This is Greg Giglio, principal of Homestead High School, and I'm here back again with a weekly video message. I know we didn't do one last week, but I'm glad to have more information and more things to work with this week. But this is Friday, October 27th. Getting a little colder out now, almost Halloween. Got my sweater on. Glad it's not boiling hot outside anymore, but let's get on with some of the. We had a lot of shout outs this week. So thank you for all the folks who sent that in. So a shout out to Heather Bonvecchio for being a huge help to our student while his case manager is on leave. Heather is one of our resource department teachers, and she's in charge of all the IEPs. We have a shout out to Megan Bridge and Nicole Zambrano for being kind, caring, great teachers who are sensitive to student needs and understanding about individual challenges. These exceptional teachers both go above and beyond to help students learn and achieve academic excellence while supporting social emotional growth. My sons benefit greatly from having Miss Bridge and Miss Zambrano as teachers. Then there was a shout out for everybody, the entire staff, for navigating the volatile situation that has been going on worldwide, but also here on our campus during the last couple of weeks, and keeping the school inclusive and supportive. So thank you for that. And a shout out to Kelly Ronsheimer, who is a French teacher and an English teacher, and this one was for her supporting a student in her lit English class. So thank you to those folks, but there's more. This one was, we had two for the water polo folks. So we had a JV water polo boys team had an undefeated season. So they wanted to give a shout out to Coach Antonio, who's awesome. He's level-headed and calm during games. So refreshing to see after watching some other school coaches who are constantly screaming or shouting at their team. So yeah, appreciate that. Congratulations, JV boys. And then also a shout out to Michael Fleming, who is one of our members of our resource department, but also the girls water polo coach. His dedication and commitment to the team are inspiring. He uses every opportunity to teach the girls important life and sport skills. He takes time to go with each of them time to go over each of them with their mistakes and figure out solutions and ways to improve. He is caring, kind, and supportive. And then finally, we had one here for Mr. Matt Guevara, who's part of our math department. But he is being recognized for going above and beyond to make his current and former students feel valued and seen. Recently, Mr. Guevara showed up in his school colors at the Gilroy Garlic City Marching Band competition this past Saturday night to watch the bands compete and to encourage and mingle with students, families, and staff. To have a teacher from an academic subject show up on a weekend on their own time just to help students feel connected and seen by more positive adult role models in their lives is really special and deserves a shout out. Way to go, Mr. G. Not this Mr. G, that Mr. G, but thank you to all those teachers and everyone who sent those in. Those are some really nice ones. I made sure to share those individually with teachers so that they saw them. So they were really thankful for that. We had a suggestion from a parent about could we see Corsi Rosenthal boxes put into every classroom to provide better protection from respiratory illness. Even with masking, my daughter has gotten sick a couple times and says many kids are coming to school very ill and coughing. I got to learn something here. I didn't know what a Corey Rosenthal box was, or Corsi Rosenthal box was. But basically, it's a box fan, and then you create a cube using filters, MERV 13 filters or other types of filters, and you set it up in a room, and it pulls in and cleans the air and works like an air filter basically. And so we actually back in during the pandemic, there was a discussion about whether we should use some box fans or whatever. But what we did do is we changed over all of our HVAC units to have MERV 13 filters. Those are a very high level, and that's what these the Corsi Rosenthal ones use. Very high level. They screen out particulates and bacteria, viral stuff, that kind of thing. And so they are on every single one of our HVAC units, and we change them regularly, even more often than we used to change filters. But our units are also meant for high capacity. With the box filters, this kind of thing, that's really meant for like a room, right? A small room, not a classroom with 30, 40 kids in it. And so our HVAC units definitely can handle that higher capacity. They have also been adjusted to bring in maximum amounts of fresh air, plus use those MERV 13. So we are way ahead of most schools in terms of where we were with that information, that kind of protection. So don't really need the Corsi Rosenthals, but again, I hear what you're saying, but we kind of want to let you know we do something similar. And just a note about masking and that kind of thing. It is voluntary. But we still have a policy for folks coming to school ill. If you are coughing, sneezing, you got a fever, especially you vomited, do not come to school. Please stay home. I know it's tough to miss school and people get a little stressed out about that, but we would prefer that you keep yourself and everybody else healthy. And there are still isolation rules for COVID-19. So if you have COVID-19, we ask that you keep them home for the 5 days. Please make sure you're testing. let us know so that we can help support them in school wise and that kind of thing. But really, we do hope that everyone does their part to keep everybody else healthy. But we know it's tough, especially now because it's cold and flu season. That's really starting to pop in. Coming up to questions and concerns. This one was from a couple weeks ago, right, when we were having the homecoming rally. But why are rallies held during tutorial, and why are classes closed during them? On a short week like last week, we already lose one tutorial. Taking another one away from rally is annoying, especially when all academic spaces close, even the library. Can rallies please be held during lunch or after school so they don't take away from academic time? Not everybody wants to prioritize school spirit over classes. Well, in going back sort of in a history lesson here, we were able to create tutorial based upon the rally schedule. So the rally schedule actually existed before the tutorial schedule did. And so what we did is we took the word rally off and put the word tutorial on, and that gave us a chance to show us how we could use that time during the week. So kind of a little bit of, I don't know, trivia or something there for you, but that's how we actually figured it out. So when we decided to do rallies, we stayed with that time. It was never meant to be academic time anyway. And so I understand that, there are some people, especially as it gets closer to finals, who want to do academics, but that's why we do have an option of whether to stay out or to go in. We also can't fit all the students into one spot unless we do it in the football field, which we did during the pandemic and was kind of fun, but not everybody loved it. But again, for those folks who don't want to be that, you can be outside. And you're right, we don't have other places that are open, but we do have the cafeteria and we do have outside places. And this is California. We definitely have some nice weather to sit outside and be able to enjoy the weather and do that. So you can study if you wish to, but school is not just about learning and studying. And I know that sounds a little crazy coming from the principal, but having fun, doing school spirit, that is a part of it. It's a stress reliever. It's a way to connect with other people. Yes, not everybody's extroverted in that way and may not want to do it, and that's okay. You can choose not to. But again, we have to kind of split up the day as it goes that way. Tutorial is the appropriate time to do that because it's non-academic. We wouldn't be taking away from instruction because it's already cut out of the schedule with the tutorial. Lunch and after school would be really problematic because it would start to conflict with, that's when clubs are scheduled. That's when other meetings are scheduled. That's when some activities are happening. That's when sports start happening. Or after school would be sports and activities and jobs and that kind of stuff. And it makes it harder when people, aren't around and able to participate, then they can't participate even if they wanted to. So, while it may not be perfect, that is the right time. And that's why we built tutorial schedule anyway, but that's really the right time to do it. So we're going to continue doing it until we come up with a better idea. But right now we don't have a better one. Can you please explain why juniors and seniors are having a combined prom this year? Is it due to finances? If so, why can't seniors afford their own prom? This is a long-standing tradition for seniors to have their own separate party. It's going to have this, is it going to have the same feel? Is it going to be held in some kind of convention center due to the size rather than a more intimate, smaller setting? So lots of good questions there. This is sort of a financial issue, but it's not in the way that you're thinking of it. But again, we do think it's important that both juniors and seniors have their prom and ball. It is unusual in this district to have a combined one. There have been other places that have done it that way for years, just in order to hold a particular junior or senior prom. So I can't tell you if it's going to feel or act differently because I don't know. We've never done one here. But last year we almost had to cancel the junior prom because we weren't selling tickets. The prices were pretty high. And the junior event, no matter which class it is, has barely broken even for several years before that. So we were really starting to get nervous about whether we'd be able to have a junior prom or not. Basically, how the proms are funded is the classes do fundraising. They put some of that money towards it, but then the rest of it is funded by the ticket sales that we do. And so depending on the place, the venue, how much it costs to rent the place, to have, security, to have whatever it is that goes with it, to put in food or games or DJs or band or whatever, starts to add in costs. And places are getting very expensive, and our enrollment is going down, right? And so we don't have as many kids who want to go to these or can go to these with our enrollment going down. And with the prices going up, we're pricing some people out. So by combining the two together, we could actually have more venues that we could definitely use. Yes, they'd be a little bit bigger. I don't think you're going to be like a huge convention hall where, you got a couple people in a gigantic room. There's going to be bigger spaces than we've been used to before, and it gives us more choices. It's also going to start to lower the costs of things and allow us to do more. So that is something that's kind of important. And one of the agreements we came up with is that it would be on a Saturday for the first time, which we've never done before. It's always been a Friday. So kind of hoping that there's a few trade-offs and things that will actually work out better for it. So yes, we totally understand why you'd want to have a separate one. Again, I don't think it's going to ruin the event to have some juniors mingling with the seniors. And to be honest, it's not all the seniors that are at the senior ball or juniors that are at the junior prom. They have guests that they bring from freshmen on up to seniors. So, it is already sort of mixed. It's just going to be a little bit more people in regards to that. But we do think that this is going to be a better way to work it out. Again, we'll try it out this year, see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, we can always change it later. I know that doesn't work out for the seniors who are graduating, but again, having an event, last year we almost canceled your junior prom. So, this is a way to make sure that everybody has that experience, that wants to have the experience. This one that's kind of come and gone a few times here, but heard that some teachers limit the number of times kids can use the restroom during class to 2 times per semester, giving the short changing times and the passing periods. When are kids supposed to use the bathroom? While I understand some students might have used restroom usage, limiting restroom usage makes it hard, especially for girls. Might be worth exploring a more fair and consistent policy across classes. There truly is no one policy that goes across campus. We don't say this is the number of times you can or can't let a student go. We do hope that students can, be mature enough to use it when they need to and do, appropriately, use the restroom when they need to. But there are times where some teachers feel like they have to limit it because kids are using or misusing that policy. And again, it's as high school kids, look for ways to hang out with friends and not have to be in class. And it does happen more often than not. So you're probably hearing it happening in other classes. Teachers kind of have that right to enforce the rules, right? They say, hey, you're misusing this. I'm going to only do once or twice. But if there's a medical issue or if there's a more pressing need, again, especially for girls, just please talk to the teacher, please talk to your counselor, and maybe we can arrange something individually that doesn't necessarily override the rules, but can work within the rules kind of thing. Again, we would prefer the kids are in class. We would prefer that kids are learning. They're not off wandering around campus, because that honestly is when things usually not good happen. And so we are seeing some issues happening in restrooms, vaping, some graffiti, some minor vandalism. So we really want to make sure that we're keeping the campus clean, we're keeping the campus safe, we're keeping your kids safe. So we do ask that they use the restrooms during the passing periods at lunch and brunch. Those are the appropriate times to do it. And there are more than enough restrooms across the campus that kids should be able to do that without missing class time. So again, we're not going to regulate in terms of a school-wide policy what they can and can't do in that regard, but we're going to leave that one up to the individual classroom teachers. Some general information. Again, I would really want to emphasize this one, having looked around at traffic for the last 2 weeks, that the speed limit in any of our parking lots, and this includes the horseshoe, the student lot, the staff lot, is 5 miles per hour. That is very slow, and it's that way for a reason, because we have kids all over the place, and there's always these near misses that drive us a little bit nuts. Again, kids tend to want to drive a little bit faster. Sometimes parents, you guys are in a hurry, and so you're running through and driving through as fast as you can. Please, please, please slow down, take your time, and then, once you get out of campus, you follow the speed. Hopefully you follow speed limits out there too, but 5 miles per hour is what we're looking at. Please don't go faster than that. We definitely don't want anyone hurt or any property damage or any of that kind of stuff. A bunch of important dates happening, but nothing that I don't think I've already mentioned from the last couple of times we've talked, but we have some workshops coming up. We got the end of second grading period coming up. Again, that's a progress report day. That is a day where it's a snapshot of what your ongoing grades are. It's not a final grade, but it's the last one that you'll get before final grades at the end of December. So it is a very important one in terms of looking at how your kids are doing and what they need to do now to make up for those grades. We do have a holiday coming up, Veterans Day. It's on a Friday this year. There's a special schedule. So we're going to be getting rid of the Monday schedule that week and moving everything over. So the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be the block days. Friday's no school. We got seniors. You're trying to get your portrait done and into the yearbook. That's deadlines coming up. We've also got a half day happening around Thanksgiving on the Wednesday, and we just have the Thursday, Friday off. Oops, I think I put the wrong dates there. That should have been the 23rd and 24th. Sorry about that. So the 22nd is the half day. The 23rd and 24th are the actual break. And then talking about breaks, we got the end of the semester, gosh, I really messed that one up. End of the first semester coming up here soon. I'll fix those on the PowerPoint when we send it out, but sorry about catching those here at the very end. But yeah, that's coming up, and just wanted you to be aware of that so that you know when that to make sure that your kids are getting their grades in, that they're how they got to get ready going for studying and all that. Again, thank you for those of you who sent in your survey submissions here so we could have this information. Please keep going. We'll keep it open until the end of the semester, and then I usually start a new one for the next semester, but we're currently using that one for now. So hope you have a good Halloween. It's coming up, and hope you have your costumes ready. It's always a fun day here. But until then, have a great day and a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Take care.